So is Quinn been a sports book in Ireland?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
they finance half of this trip. So.
Really? Yeah.
Welcome to the Irish NFL. We're doing a lot of work on Radio Row. I'm joined by Adam Breneman. Adam is Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania kid, went to Penn State. Penn State, famous throughout the world, creating phenomenal football players, tight ends. You played tight end. Mike Gesicki, Theo Johnson. I mean, they've all come through Penn State. Want to get a little sense of, how you got into football, how you got into sports, the journey through, school, into high school, into college. Just give us a couple of minutes on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I, as you said, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Thought I had all the answers in the world when I was 18 years old and had offers from every school in the country. Went to Penn State and, had a good career at Penn State, played there 3 years, was a freshman All-American, but had a knee injury when I was there. So ended up having some issues, transferred to UMass and played 2 years at UMass. And that's where I really had a lot of success. Was a 2-time All-American and led the country in receiving as a tight end. And then had another knee injury and ended up never playing in the NFL. So I make the joke a lot that I'm in a very small group of people that was a 5-star recruit, a 3-time All-American, and never played in the NFL. But still a lot of blessings in that. And then spent 2 years coaching at Arizona State, was the tight ends coach at ASU with Herm Edwards and Marvin Lewis and Antonio Pierce. And then really pivoted from coaching to a full-scale media career and started creating content, broadcasting for CBS on national television. Doing my podcast where I interview coaches and players, just a lot of different media pieces underneath my umbrella right now, and have really gone all in on the social first content, social media being so important.
And I've been watching a lot of your content, some phenomenal stuff. I mean, you've interviewed, Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State, a lot of other coaches like that. And you're heavily involved in NIL. Obviously, it wasn't a factor when you were playing at Penn State, but you did transfer to UMass. But when you're talking to coaches, and I know you're working with kids with NIL and students, but what are the coaches telling you about the world of NIL right now?
Yeah, it's absolutely craziness. I mean, coaches are trying to figure it out. I think NIL by itself is great. Transfer portal by itself is great. The combination of the two is what really makes it chaotic, because the only issues you really have with NIL is when it becomes pay for play and guys are getting bribed with no salary caps and no rules to enter the portal and transfer. It's really hard to keep up with and compete with. I think, listen, for a long time, college sports was not fair to the players. Players could, when I played, Penn State used to sell my jersey in the bookstore. I never saw a dime from that. That's wrong. But at the same time, we've overcorrected in the side of the players, and we've made it almost too good for the players, where they can, we got guys transferring 7 times in 7 years. That's not good for anybody in the sport. So they're going to come back to the center here and make it a little bit more fair so the coaches and administrators can build their rosters, while players still have the freedom to, if they make a mistake one time, they can transfer and figure it out.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it's unregulated right now, and it's kind of like the horse is bolted to the stable, and it's hard to rein it in. But you're right. I mean, there's players you even see right now in college football. There's players that have played at 4 or 5 different schools in 4 or 5 different years. When you have your company, the College Sports Company, and you work a lot with students with NIL. Talk to me about. I mean, we got the college coaches kind of perspective. Talk to me about the students and who you work with and their challenges, their concerns about this whole process.
I think for a lot of these athletes, I mean, it's different because for some of the athletes, if you're a starting quarterback at a Power 4 team, you're making millions of dollars in one season. If you're the backup right guard, you're making like $50,000. So the scale that we're seeing is so different for different athletes. So a lot of the questions are different depending on who you're talking to. I think for a lot of guys, it's the financial pieces. How do I pay taxes? What does it look like to have an agent? What are the things I need to be investing in with my team? Insurance, things like that. When I was in college, you didn't even think about. I didn't think about taxes. I was just getting my school paid for. So there's been an element of a lot of new learning for these athletes. And I think on top of it, I talk about my own social media. I think the athletes that have taken advantage of this era are the ones that have gone all in on content and social media. Because it's one thing for a brand and a business that wants to sponsor you to say, oh, I want to sponsor this football player. But when you become a brand and you have the content, a brand can look at your social media and say, hey, this is what we're getting if we sponsor him. It changes the game completely. Yeah.
I mean, I live in Florida, huge, obviously a hotbed of not just college football, but high school football. We're starting to see, I think in Michigan right now, they brought into, high schools. There's NIL being brought into high schools. I'm seeing in Florida because it doesn't pay as much. There are kids going to schools and coaches going to schools in Georgia because they pay much more than Florida.
Yeah.
So I again, that's just 2 states. I feel like it's going to start spreading around the country. And if it's not regulated or reeled in, it could get out of hand. Talk to me about, you mentioned your social media, kind of your brand, and talk to me about how that started and where it is now and where you wanted to go.
I mean, it started with like 10,000 followers after I got done playing. And I mean, today have like 700,000 across platforms and always growing and being innovative. I often think about, everything that I do revolves around my content, right? If it wasn't for the content, there wouldn't be opportunities like this on Radio Row. There wouldn't be brand opportunities. There wouldn't be business opportunities. So I wouldn't be broadcasting. So I invest in that content. I've been trying to constantly put out new ideas, new content. I spent a lot of time on it, a lot of money on it, because I think it's important. And I always come back to, it's easy to get distracted with other opportunities, but I have to come back to the center and say, man, everything about the flywheel I have going on is about the content first. And I got to make the content really good.
I got to ask you, you're from, Pennsylvania. What is it about, Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, that not just now, but in the past has produced so many phenomenal athletes, football players, et cetera?
Yeah, it's a great question. I get a lot of, I have to defend Pennsylvania football a lot. When you're in the locker room and you're coaching or playing, a lot of talk about what states are best for football. And I'm always like, Pennsylvania's up there. I mean, there's some good players. So, I think especially in the western part of the state, the mid part of the state, central Pennsylvania, a lot of tougness, blue collar jobs, coal mines, family, dad was working 6 days a week, in steel mill, whatever it is. So there's a lot of toughness that comes from that part of the state. And I think you get, when you have two cities like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, you have a lot of talent, a lot of skill that comes out of there. And I mean, Pennsylvania's been a great place for skill position players, for, a guy like Saquon Barkley. And, there's a lot of good players that come out of that state.
And you're in Harrisburg, correct?
For sure.
A lot of great players have come out of Harrisburg.
Parsons,
Exactly. We'll finish with this. Just give a plug for your company, the College Sports Company. Tell our listeners and our viewers, where they can find you and what they'll find there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, co-founded the College Sports Company, where we work with colleges, universities on building media networks where we can help them, their athletes, monetize content and their brand and build their brands along the way, driving NIL revenue for the school. So that's at collegesportscompany.com. We have a lot of success right now. Work with Penn State, Virginia, Louisville, South Carolina. I could go on and on, but about 12 partners right now. And I'm doing, you mentioned it before, but I'm doing my next up spring tour. So I'm going around to 12 schools around the country, interviewing their head coaches, interviewing some star players, facility tours, the whole ordeal. So it's going to be a fun couple months.
SEC trips coming up.
Yeah. We're going to hit a bunch. We're going to hit some Big Ten schools, ACC, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, the new Pac-12.
I don't know where that is now.
It's going to be who knows? It's going to be fun, man.
Excellent. Adam, thank you for your time.
So much.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you.